Welcome to this week's Tarotcast. You guys know how this works, so let's not delay and let's jump straight into it. This week, for the collective, we have the Queen of Cups. So last week, the collective was in the space of the world, and this was putting us all into a place of completion, some kind of level of accepting of everything that's gone around us and the ability to start taking on something new. We've now got the Queen of Cups coming through, and the Queen of Cups is asking us to find our emotional flow, really be in touch with our emotions, start working with kindness and compassion and gratitude and forgiveness and all of these emotions that are going to help bring us all together ultimately. Aries, last week you had the Nine of Pentacles. This week you have the Eight of Swords. So Aries, after being in the Nine of Pentacles, this put us into a place of abundance, and we should have been in a space of gratitude, but perhaps this amount of abundance that we have right now is making us feel stagnated, making us feel a little bit trapped. So with this situation of maybe having all of this abundance on us, we might want to start distributing this a little bit to actually start letting go of this feeling of being stuck. This card will also represent that possibly there are some things on your minds, or there are some things on your heart that you might need to express. Maybe there are secrets that shouldn't be secrets and they need to be expressed. Maybe you just need to speak the truth that's within yourself. Up next, Taurus. Taurus, this week you have the Knight of Swords. So last week you had the Eight of Cups, which is putting you in a place of emotional contentment, and to a certain degree it allowed us to kind of sit back and relax and be happy with the achievements that we had emotionally within our life. Now this week with the Knight of Swords coming through, this is really encouraging us to take things full on. We need to get that enthusiasm, bring it to the top, and we need to go full force into it. We need to hit the ground running. This is what's going to serve you best this week. Now, of course, the warnings that always come with the Knights. This Knight tends to make mistakes because he's not paying attention to the smaller details. He's not listening to the advice that's around him. And so if he trips up hard and he makes big mistakes. So while you're moving quickly, you've got a lot of momentum and enthusiasm, make sure you do stop, listen to the advice that's around you, make sure you're dotting your T's and crossing your I's. Make sure that everything's in order while you're moving so fast. Gemini, last week you had the Ten of Wands. This week you have the Hermit. So Gemini, we started off this month with the Hermit. We then moved into the Ten of Wands, which represents a feeling of overburdened. And now we're being encouraged to go back to the energy of the Hermit. Ultimately, maybe getting out of that space, that removing ourselves from our solitude didn't serve us, and it happened a little bit too early. And maybe we needed to go through those lessons of those feelings of overburden, having to strip even more things around us. And now we need to retreat again, get away from the distractions, have some time on ourselves, and we need to reflect. And there may be a lot of things actually revolving around what other burdens there might be on us that we need to shed. Cancer, last week you had the Nine of Wands. This week you have the Four of Swords. The Nine of Wands was encouraging us to finish some unfinished business. And now as we start moving into the Four of Swords, we need to find some time for ourselves. We need to rest and recoup. We need to get our energy back. We need to make sure we focus on ourselves at this time. This is the license for you to run a hot bath and put the essential oils in there. Make it a really nice setting. Maybe take yourself out to the spa, get a massage. We need to spend some time doing a bit of self-care. If this card doesn't get treated in that sense, it can potentially come to a place of depression, and we don't want to step into that. So to avoid that, make sure we look after ourselves. A bit of self-love is needed. Leo, last week you had the Four of Pentacles. This week you have the Two of Pentacles. So the Four of Pentacles was encouraging us to reanalyze all of the possessions that we have in our life and what kind of attachments that we have around them. This is now starting to put us into a place of what we have left. We want to manage correctly. We've got a few things, we're multitasking, we got a few things up in the air. We don't want to take on too much again, because if we do take on too much, we could drop it all, but we also don't want to have that danger of dropping back into the Four of Pentacles, where we get into that place of attachment, having too many possessions. So while we've got a few things going on, this is good. We want to be multitasking, whatever is happening on in our life right now, but do be careful. We don't want to bite off more than we can chew. Virgo, last week and the week before you had the Magician. This week you have the Six of Wands. Virgo, you're killing it this week. You've got the card of victory. This is the card to say that you've worked hard, you've put in the long distance, the long hours, you've had to compete with others, and now you're at a point where you can celebrate everything that you've achieved. This is all a lot of love and light is coming your way here. You are really deserving of the things that are coming your way. We had the last 2 weeks of manifestation. So this week is a week where you may be able to start expecting these things to come to fruition. Libra, last week you had the Ace of Wands. This week you have the Four of Cups. So with the Ace of Wands energy coming through, hopefully you picked up one of your passions or some kind of creative outlet to actually get going. And this is something that should be going on for a while. The Four of Cups is now representing there's an energy of apathy. So as we've started on, maybe you were expecting some instant results. Maybe you're not improving as quickly as you should. Now might be bringing you into a place of apathy. Do not give up at this point. This apathy can be a little bit normal. We just need to push through this barrier. Don't let this hold you back. There's still a long distance to go. We want to manage whatever's going on with our creative or our passionate outlets and understand this is going to take time. So stick this through. Make sure you feel the feelings that you're going through, but understand that Ace of Wands journey isn't over yet. Scorpio, last week you had the Knight of Cups. This week you have the High Priestess. So we're leaving the energy of the Knight of Cups, which shows a lot of projection of love with that card. And now we're coming to a place where we want to actually be receiving this kind of energy. We want to be receiving higher love for ourselves. We want to seek the wisdom. We want to seek this wisdom that is going to come through the signs and the messages from the universe above. We really want to be trusting our intuition this week. This would be a good week to be working with the tarot for yourself, working with the pendulum for yourself, because there are some high energies that you should be connecting with if you want to be moving forward. Sagittarius, last week you had the Three of Wands. This week you have the King of Cups. Last week was a Three of Wands and the week before that was a Chariot. And these are two cards that are very much pushing us forward and making us make these decisions to decide where we're going to be going, how we're going to be living our life. We've now got the King of Cups coming in, and this is asking us to find some emotional stability on this road that we are taking. We want to be able to manage what's happening. We want to be able to analyze the feelings that we are feeling. We want to be there for our friends and be there for our families. We want to put ourselves into the place where we can be the rock and we can be relied on if someone needs a shoulder to be lent on. Capricorn, last week you had the Hierophant. This week you've got the Two of Wands. So last week with the Hierophant, you were going over some time understanding your place where you are in society and all of these other institutions that are around you. Perhaps finding some teachers, perhaps getting some guidance from some teachers. Maybe you are the teacher for someone else. Now we want to take the time with the Two of Wands and we want to start reflecting. We want to start dreaming about just how big we can take this. Where are we in society? Where are we in these institutions? And where can we go? Where is the limit? Is the sky the limit? Is there any ceiling? We want to break through this. There are no limiting thoughts when we're working with the Two of Wands. So dream big. This is the key, that you want to be working with this. There's nothing that can hold you back when you're dreaming. Dream big before we put them into action. Action is not required just yet. Dream big. Aquarius, last week you got the Strength card. This week you have the Page of Pentacles. So you've had a pretty good trot with the Strength card and the Sun card prior to that. Now we want to take all this accumulated energy and we want to work with the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles is asking us to expand our knowledge in some kind of project, something that we're working on in this physical reality. Now this could be something quite literally getting our hands dirty. Perhaps we want to learn a little bit more in our cooking skills, or maybe in the workshop doing some woodworking, or maybe we're dealing with our finances. Maybe we've got a bit of an understanding, but the Page is looking to expand his understanding. He's on his path to become an expert, to become a master, but he understands he's not there yet, and he needs that tuition, and he needs to have an open mind. And he takes these things on with enthusiasm. So going forward, take this on with as much enthusiasm as you can. Pisces, last week you had the Four of Cups. This week you have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is asking you to experiment with something a little bit more, something that's really going to trigger that fire inside, your creative side, your passionate side. This could be perhaps signing up for a sports team. Maybe you're taking some arts classes or some dance classes. What is it that's inside that really makes you feel like you're expressing your true self? How does that come out? The Page of Wands, he's looking into this and he's looking on how he can actually project that out as much as he possibly can to feel as fulfilled as he can. Again, he's looking for teachers. He's looking to improve himself. He's not yet a master and he knows that, so he is on that path and he's working hard towards it. There's a lot of childish curiosity out there when it comes to the pages. And that's it, my witches and warlocks, for this week's Tarotcast. If you've enjoyed this, hit the like button, whatever platform you are on. Leave a comment, interact, let me know how your week is going. How is this resonating with you? So until then, I'll catch you next week. Ciao.